Hey, what up, gang? Welcome to ETF2L Season 32's preseason Premiership Qualifier, deciding who will make it into Prem. We have the lower bracket round 1, deciding the game between Quasar and crever, which I hopefully don't butcher too much. I'm probably going to say the Frenchies for the most part here. Deciding who of these two will continue on through the lower bracket, will have another shot at getting into Prem in the lower bracket final. Loser is out, will have to sit in Div 1. We had some trouble getting people together. Grumpy was supposed to cast, but couldn't make it due to being sick. Gemm on production, I'm DuMmTm, and with me now, instead of Grumpy, will be Eames.
Hello.
You just last minute stepped in here, just joined Mumble server to get in for the cast, so you might be a little bit unprepared, but I have the teams up here to see the rosters, people are joining the servers, and to just make it quick and before everything else, the maps we will be seeing today will be Snakewater, Process, and Granary.
No logjam feels bad, man.
Let me actually see. They didn't ban it first. They banned it as the third map, so it almost could have happened, maybe. Anyway, we have on crever the French team. They played Div 1 together. They made third after some interesting results, to say the least. Leadership goes to Rav with Alien Smiley, Glass3, Carnix, Olga, Dro, and Mula. I hope I don't butcher these names. Joining the roster as well. And on the other side, Quasar, also a French flag on ETF2L, but only two French players on this team, which are Euthanasia and Kalis, who will be joined today by Collate, Flower, Spirit, and Joey, all the way from America with 91 ping. And this is more Quasar, on the other hand, compared to the Frenchies, is a bit more of like a project coming into this. They want to see how well they can do against these teams, if they can sneak in to Premiership. The Frenchies, obviously, with the experience, even after a rough season, did decent enough at the end to contest with the higher level teams. Want to make it in here as well with high level experience on Raft Olga, for example. Will be interesting. Two new additions on the French roster being Muller and Dwo, replacing, I believe, one of the soldiers and medic, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And yeah, Collate, notably on the red team here on Quasar, joined from the Theorists after a bit of trouble in the team. Now on Quasar, looking to still make it into Premiership, and the game will be going live.
Yeah. I am the server. I've made it dumb. So if you like, I can take this first middle. I will. I'm still just getting to know the rosters, but I'm looking at, let's see, both demos arrived in mid fairly on time, and nothing much happening so far. Sicky's traded. Got almost all of the crever rolling up to our left, and they're going to be walking over, playing pretty aggressive with this. Dwo has bombed in deep. Quite a lot of aggression from the blue team. They're going to be walking over. Nice frag onto Kalis, and Joey goes down as well, so this is pretty good for the crever. It's looking like a pretty strong mid there. How did they win that, DuMmTm?
Like you said, your question was stunted a bit by just this complete left side hold by them, and all of Quasar relied so heavily on the flank play by Collate that was completely stunted by the combo just being ready for it, him going behind. Everybody just saw him coming and let him jump into nothing, and with that kill, they collectively walked toward Joe, distracting as well, helped out quite a bit, getting the medic. Most important here, 2 kills on second, beating only 4 up on last, making this last defense all the more difficult, despite it already being really tough to contest with Alien's money in point. Uber pop, they just need some damage on the point to clean this up, and there we go, kills have been gotten, and the round is on the board for crever.
I was going to say it was a bit questionable with crever, I think. I'm going to say it like that for the rest of the cast. Maybe I butchered it, but maybe I didn't. It's a bit questionable with them to go so quickly, but there was just no off-classes on what's it called? Quasar. So I don't know why they didn't have a heavy or something, but it made it very easy for the Raf's team to just storm in there. So it's a very quick and easy round for Raf.
See if they can keep up the pace here as we reach midfight number 2. Early damage onto Raf by Kalis, asserting himself as the better French demo man here so far. Collate going in once again, this time front and center with the rest of the red team trying to cross the point. Not going too well. Collate gets stopped. Joey as well getting some good damage in, but it's not quite enough. Kalis dying over the point as well. And the blue team just so far better at defending in these mid-fights, holding on to almost all of the classes. Carnix cleans up Spirit in the end. Alien Smiley the only casualty on the French end here, but Euthanasia is able to survive the mid-fight, barely with his life, escaping the last soldier. That's all you're trying to chase him down into last. Will have some semblance of an Uber charge, maybe coming out just in time.
Yeah, that's an absolutely crushing mid again from the Frenchies. I mean, I feel like there's literally been like only 1 or 2 deaths on the French side for this entire map so far. So it's not even like a close mid where, you know, they just about win with their mental. The French are absolutely crushing it right now, though. I mean, looking like Raf and his team are just really quite dominant at the moment. They're going to be coming in right side with this Uber until last, it looks like. Oh, no, never mind. Euthanasia didn't die. I'm stupid.
So that's even Ubers, both teams opted for the sniper right now to defend and to try to get a pick into last in the first place. Here, Flower and Alien Smiley will be heading off against each other so far. Flower with the better end here, but it's only a little bit of damage, not a kill. Doesn't mean too much. And even the single pick is hard to really work with out of last. A single pick into last means quite a bit more, even that's still hard, but you can just do so much more with that already, especially with a hitscan class down with the sniper here in this case, meaning that there's so much less reliable denial on the soldiers trying to make some sort of play.
Definitely. I mean, lack of sentry again. I saw this yesterday in my cast, and I mentioned it for about 10 minutes, but I thought it was horrendous. But really, you should just have a sentry on the last node.
Yeah, it makes everything so much harder for the approaching team. In this case, the Frenchies here, the gun is just effectively, you know, a slightly stupid aimbot that will just pick what's closest, and a soldier on your medic will usually be just that.
So yeah, we do see the Frenchies pressuring on this left side, trying to get something done. They could actually get in really, really free. It's pretty much only a soldier who's 160 HP or something trying to hold that. So if they wanted to get in, they really could, but kind of just being pretty slow here, just propping and poking. Rafa's got a nice trap up that you could get a pick with maybe. But really, I'd like to see them be a little bit more proactive here, given how much, I mean, an incredible amount of space they're being given, really, by
Carnex tries to make some plays, gets a kill onto Collate in the door. A 5k for him in this round. It was basically just a mid-fight so far, so he cleaned up everything for his team so far in this round and gets one little kill there. How much it means, we'll see. Oya tries to make some plays in shutter door, makes space for Alien Smiley opening the shutter door, doesn't quite get the shot and everybody dodges it. No shot comes to the Alien Smiley, tries again, this time from a little bit of a slightly different position, but still can't get the shot in here onto Joey. He was just dancing around in the sideline, but refuses to actually leave it. Eventually Alien Smiley has to back off. Olga switches positions, but neither of them can really find an answer here. And like you said, they just like to play passive, and that's what I heard from Olga as well when I was talking about him with about this team. With him, Collate gets a kill of Alien Smiley all alone on the right side. Usually you see people with the sniper trying to defend and bait out these sort of plays. This time Collate on the counter initiative tries to go in, immediately denied once again by Carnex in the lower area.
Yep, Carnex has got Khalid's number here. And Khalid, formerly of the Theorists, the winner of Div 1, but lots of controversy later. He has left/been cut from that team. So it's kind of what do you think about that, Dom, as we continue this stalemate? You know, can we have a nice discussion here. Do you think that Khalid deserved to be cut?
I mean, if what is true, if what I've seen in the team page or match page of or the rec post even is true, then it might be better for everybody to just diffuse the situation a bit and try to improve it from now on out. Even better for Collate, maybe, even if it means he might or might not make it to Prem if this game doesn't go well. Carnex trying to just eventually take matters in his own hands, draw with the follow-up attempt. Both of them denied. Eventually there's a gun. Really late, but apparently just in time, so your prayers have been heard.
Yeah, that was like a perfect sentry. Like, they didn't have absolutely ages, and then as soon as the Frenchies finally, 4 minutes into the stalemate, decide to go for a double stack, there is a sentry denied him. Only level 1, but it still pretty much does the job.
Joey gets completely denied, and Collate as well going weak before he can even start making a play. Soldiers not in the best position to make anything happen here for Quasar, and the Frenchies just happy to keep holding onto this, and they are looking happy with this 1-0 lead for the moment.
Yeah, as we head back into the stalemate.
Yeah, the NG is still on the field as well, so they're ready now.
Yeah, they're sitting in, entrenched, they're ready to grind that timer down. Well, I'm looking here at the pings, and by process of deduction, I know that Joey must be the NA player that you mentioned.
Yes, from Kingscrew Gaming invite team.
Right.
If I remember correctly.
I know, it doesn't seem to make too much sense to me. If you were going to play in a cross-continental fashion, why wouldn't you play Scout? You know, hit scan is so much better than rockets.
I mean, he is using shotgun, so there's a little bit of that at least. So he brings some of that different strategy that you don't see all too much anymore. Every once in a while there's somebody who just busted the shotgun again just for the fun of it, but not really consistently these days anymore. So it seems like that's the idea here. If I already have to deal with higher ping, at least I have the shotgun too. Raf and Alien Smiley want to take so much base on the right side, but they get so hard to Nightfall. Soldier puts damage onto the demo. Alien Smiley gets sniped, and Droch as well goes down, but not without a force in the meantime.
It was. I don't actually know how Olga got. Or, no, sorry, it wasn't Olga. It was Duo. Got him for a nice force of euthanasia there. Because
there was so much happening on the right side. I think they must have just not checked anything else in the meantime.
It looked like he just jumped through the sentry or something. But anyway, two Chris rockets and euthanasia will have to pop at 30 HP. So it's a full advantage and a pick for the Frenchies. I wonder whether they take this. Look like they want to come under it. Okay, no, they can walk in top right. Actually, Kalis is so close. What is he doing? He's fed, and this is a free loss to the Frenchies now if they just play it correctly. After sticking out right, going to move over towards the point. And this is Blaze actually the bomb. Getting some good damage at the point. It's a good collapse, but it's really not enough. If you lose your demo that early, that's just over. What is Kalis doing there, Dum?
Yeah, that was a draws over extension, and also a nice jump at the end by draw onto the left side to just deny any and all of the rest of the red team to try to rotate in anywhere safe positions and have the team on the right side pushing. Have much of an easier time to just clean up what's in front of them. Really well done there by the Frenchies and getting them the 2-0 lead here.
As we do come to the third mid-fight, Demo's rolling out opposite sides. Choke instead of Choke and Saw, but nothing too much happening. Plate has actually gone behind in Choke. He's going to take a 1v1 with Olga, and Olga, they would trade. Spirit has also killed Duo at the same time. There's a soldier advantage for the Quasar, and they're going to be walking over. And the Frenchies are just going to back out. They're going to surrender the mid-fight for free.
Yeah, that was just the Frenchies trying to do more with the soldiers. One soldier behind, one soldier aggressively trying to deny, and it just didn't work out. Soldiers dying early means mission aborted fairly quickly. Quasar taking this from mid to second without much of any resistance here on the second point itself. Ubers, however, will be even on to last, so a bit of a reversal of what we've seen before here. Now it's on to Quasar to show if they have anything in store. The Frenchies took a little while to get started here, but they also showed that they at least knew that what they were doing. They were looking actively for an opportunity to make the right play. Took a while, but it came and eventually got them around here, and now it's up to Quasar to make the same happen with Alien Smiley on Spy. Checking right now off classes, maybe even going for a play.
And I would like to point out an absolutely huge brain play from Karnax here. He is playing NG. He's got a level 3 already. It's perfect defense. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I commend the guy, because it seems that a lot of these top Div 1 players, they just don't like it. They just think sentries, who needs him? But Karnax, he knows.
Collate has to see what the guy is all about. Just completely skybox. Will he still alive?
Oh my god, what? No way! How did that work? That was the most ridiculous
you have ever seen. The sentry gun made him able to just hit the rocket from the skybox instead. Gets the medic Mulan down. Frenchies on the defense falling apart. As Super comes in, doesn't catch too much, but gets people onto the point, and that might just be what they need, as all of the damage is concentrated there. But Flower's the only one here dealing damage anymore. And suddenly Euthanasia is just all alone. And the French scouts are saving it once again. So what kept them? No, Colin could cheese it away, but jumps straight in front of them.
That's crazy. I mean, really, even in them losing that scrappy fight kind of just shows how the Frenchies, I'm pretty sure, overall have a decent amount more DM than Quasar. Because really, you would not expect them to be losing that fight, you know, so much time on point, and basically a full Uber against nothing.
I think they just used the Uber too early, and it just didn't catch much itself with the invincibility. And the moment the fight actually started, it was an even fight again, just on the point, concentrated. And now Frenchies can take advantage of this all the way into mid here. Still advantage in their hands, not much, but maybe just enough to get all the way through the map. Olga tries to lead this in for his team. Colin with a similar idea, this time not so lucky, but now will stay alive. Olga dies in return. Kalis so far forward yet again, and the team is just not quite there.
But all the while, we have the back cap from Flower, and Flower's actually going to win this round. He's got the back cap, he's completely uncontested. Raf's going to go back for him. Actually, no! He's going to fight Raf! Why has he done this? Alright,
because Karnix and Mular actually got behind him first. He just decided, let's get the demo pick and be done with it. Didn't quite get out. If he survived that, that would have been kind of amazing to make some play into last, get maybe the force out of Mular. He nicely assessed that he just can't reach a point in time with the demo man already there, because the scout would just be faster. So gets the demo, maybe able to get a play out of this, but with a heavy on the field, it's going to be so much harder now.
That's a really nice heads-up play from Flower. Not only getting the back, actually getting the Raf frag as well, and just, I mean, it was a questionable fight on mid for his team, but he's actually taken them second completely for free, so they're back in a pretty solid situation. All they need now is another absolute nuke from Khalid. Could be looking at a first round on the board.
Let's see if they finally have a daily speed. Like I said, I'm not going to play into a slightly more cleaned up push. This time it's only one sniper on the field, on the offense here. Flower taking up the sniper rifle yet again. Peeking from lower, Raf is dancing on the sideline, not quite in it yet though. And eventually we see a sniper and an engineer coming out on the defense as well, so they want to be ready for this time sentry in a different spot. Maybe this time a bit closer to the medic, so it doesn't just awkwardly skybox the soldier and leaves him alone.
Well, I mean, Karnax had done... he'd done 95% of what he needed to do. He put the sentry all the way to level 3. Made the decision to get the sentry up, which is really something that cannot be understated in importance, but he had not put it on the correct side. So he was almost all the way there, but not quite. It meant that Khalid just got skybox and then hits the 2 perfect rockets on Mula. Get a pretty incredible drop that I'm still talking about 5 minutes later.
It could have been better if it was an actual sync rocket, like complete double sync. That would have been beautiful. As it stands though, it still almost got them around, but almost isn't quite enough as the stalemate continues. Both snipers just looking for an opportunity. It really scares though. Karnik's not really trying to peek in, because Flowers on the other hand, and he's looking much more aggressively into this, and Colin with the follow-up jump straight on the drop hits so much damage on them though. Draw wants to follow up on that, but they all come in on the left side on Quasar, get Olga on top of that. 2 kills already.
Yeah, that's a bit of a feed by Olga there. He really should not have been going so aggressive onto the heart because he just gets spammed down by Kalis. There's a trade in, still 2 down. Flower has actually died because he's been so aggressive to snipe that trade, and if the Frenchies can just rotate and re-push it, they'll be alright, but they're so aggressive from Kalis and they're getting so much damage. Pretty much all of the Frenchies in spawn and then just have absolutely no time to rotate. It's only Olga alive and he gets shotgun down by Joey. That's actually a really nice slow and deliberate push by Quasar.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything you wanted out of the first damage we had. They just used the sniper to get 1 first kill indirectly with some follow-up by Colin, baiting Olga forward, getting that kill. 2 kills, meaning Uber forced pretty easily, get a much better exchange going, and with the last remnants of down, Uber just chased down 2 more kills, which makes it such a better Uber fight at the end there, and getting them around for it.
Yeah, so I want to look at what the soldier aggression is from the Frenchies here. Because last minute didn't really go too well. So I want to see them doing something kind of coordinated this time. I think Khalid's going in very aggressively onto Karnak, and he's actually going to get the frag. Karnak's didn't see it, so there's a lot of distraction by Khalid from the Quasar is just walking straight over point. Dro has actually got a really nice frag onto the med, and everyone is so weak on Quasar. But Alien, Mula is out, and it's only Alien versus 3. Will he go for it? No, he won't. So that's a kind of an indecisive mid there, but really nice clutch play by, who was it? Was it Duo?
Yeah, Duo with the jump onto the point. Dealt so much damage onto anyone else of the medic as well, and aside from just getting the med kill as well. If there was anything more than just Draw jumping in, this could have been a complete turnaround for the Frenchies. As it stands, aggression over the point just quick enough of the follow-up from Collade's jump to work out in Quasar's favor, but silver lining here for the Frenchies is that Mula stayed alive. Will mean they have advantage in the Quasar end. He has to respect the tower already, trying to get behind, gets spotted early though. Cunning goes down, both down the scout each, but with the Uber advantage it's going to be scary. Get forced early though, Joey gets through, gets some damage, we need to pop through. The people are still in on mid, Collate and Kalis take so much damage, one of them dies, Collate just barely is surviving, maybe gets caught here anyway, juggled around by rockets, still taking damage, everybody wants to go in deep, gets another kill, and Olga will get it.
Yeah, I mean, it was really weird. They got the force pretty well. Kalis and co just kind of overstayed their welcome in Sora and got absolutely crushed. As I do say, they have still got Uber Euthanasia really walking forward and trying to maybe get some bags into the French team as they try and pressure the forward. So, I mean, if the Frenchies had an opportunity to get in there and get the force if they wanted to, but kind of they feared the Uber a bit too much, and that means that it's a decent possibility for Quasar to take mid here if they go quickly before the Frenchies get Uber.
It's a pretty small window, especially with how big of the midpoint is that you have the cover completely coming in here, but they don't use early, they just want to scare them away. Stuff this in, so far it's working decent. Kalis takes a lot of damage, will stay alive, not getting forced here. Frenchies want to recontest with the backhand coming in by Karnix, just happy to take this fight. Uber exchange has been gotten, and Uber on the point means you don't cap. Karnix happy to take advantage of that, but Collate back with Flower as well. Denying the backup, and this Uber exchange is going horribly with quick reaction on Quasar's end here.
Yeah, it was weird. It seemed like 3 or 4, maybe 3 players from Quasar went back to the back cap, but they still managed to win the fight in front. I don't even know how that happened. So the Frenchies just kind of losing all their 1v1s there. Clay's going to go really deep, trying to chase Mula. Gets a good rocket onto him, and Mula must die here. Kalis just need to follow up. If he doesn't jump, and Mula actually survives. That's a really missed opportunity from Quasar. They could have definitely got the med frag there if they were a little bit more aggressive.
Just a little bit off will make a huge difference here. Instead of having advantage to last, it will once again slow down a bit. Stalemate from second to last here. Olga checking immediately for off classes, maybe going for Spy as well. We haven't seen somebody leave spawn on Spy yet.
No, we have not. And again, we have the sentry going up, and it's in the right place this time. This is fantastic. I'm so impressed with Alien. But we're back in the stalemate, and to begin with, this game looked like it was going to be a roll with the Frenchies just stomping out a couple of rounds really fairly quickly. But we've got a game on our hands now. It's looking a lot closer than it was to begin with.
Yeah, they just needed some warm up here, it seemed, to get into it, and still pulled a lot of trouble with sneaky plays, especially in the flank. onto the Frenchies that make life a lot harder. Once again, Flower on Sniper default state here, it seems, for the last stalemates for Quasar, looking for another shot, maybe another bait, both of which has been working out decently well so far for the French/Swedish/American team.
Indeed. As we do see Flower, he's trying to take some shots, but he's pretty much just getting spammed. Hasn't really hit too much. And it's another reset. Gonna have to find something to talk about, Dom.
Well, what do you think about this new sentry placement gun on the box?
Oh, I don't know if that's new, but it's new definitely in this game, and I love it. It's really annoying to spam it as a demo from shutter because, like, it just kind of juggles you back and it juggles you into the shutter, and it's like half the time you're peeking it. But I say that, and it's maybe hard to spam from the right side, but it's easy to spam from the left. So
especially with no one even trying to deny the left side. Really here, and there comes the snipe. They just needed one small opening. Flower gets the shot in. Mulat down. Medic has dropped the Uber, and now they just can't fail this yet again. But I also hear Olga with banner, but he's alone on the right side there, just completely banned by his team. Can't take advantage of it. Spirit on the point. They only got Olga with the Uber, but they have so much cap, and the Uber just pressured all of them so far away. The Frenchies not able to recontest the point in time, and that's the tie here.
I mean, it was a pretty hard situation with the Frenchies anyway, with no med and 6 players Ubering into them, but really questionable banner use from Olga. He literally just stood inside the enemy team, blowing his banner and died. Like, come on, man. Olga's supposed to be one of the experienced Prem gamers here.
He's especially one of the most experienced banner users, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter now. Round has been gotten for Quasar here, so mid-fight starts, both soldiers on both ends, trying to get in deep, getting Mulat straight away, Collate getting the kill there, and fight once again. Moves forward to the point for Quasar here, just walking across collectively and walking all over the Frenchies, getting a complete wipe off of those jumps, able to deal with those jumps as well at the beginning of the mid really well. Suddenly these mids have completely shifted, they are able to execute the aggression they wanted to at the beginning much better now.
It's really a huge mid from Collate. I've been really impressed with him so far, getting some really clinical bombs, hitting almost every rocket he needs to. You know, he's dropped Muller on last one at one time, the 2-rocketed Muller on that mid and just opened it up for his team completely. And you know, really showed that even though he may be out of his team from... Oh, but Ethan will drop to the sniper in spawn, popping through the shutter. That's an absolute tragedy. This could have been an easy round really for Quasar, but they're just going to have to back out there. So Clade's going to go for a little hide play on the boxes, but it's not a very high likelihood one. Raf's in deep, he will destroy Kalis actually. That's really nice play.
Flower and Collate are going into lobby and they get the kill on Mulat. They just storm in there from left and right, and the whole combo was not ready to stop that. Yeah. Get the medic, sure it costs maybe a few too many lives, we're 3 down right now, but it will give them advantage in the long run.
Really nice coordination actually on that little sack from Flower and Collate. So they have completely negated the advantage pretty much. I mean, the Frenchies can come in here, but they've got no heals, but they've gone way too quickly. Euthanasia, oh my god, it's a huge start from Euthanasia, but he will go down anyway to Karnax. I don't know why they were so aggressive there. You just need to wait like 2 more seconds for their spawns, it would have been fine, but yeah, they've lost their med because they were just far too eager, thinking that heal advantage is as good as having 5 players when they only had 4 or 3. Can't remember.
Yeah, no, it's just damage reduction mode. Quasar here. Everybody's just on for the second point. Maybe wanting the backup, maybe wanting the medic. Collie certainly does, but there's so many people denying that he will get taken down by Olga, and Flower escapes with his life spirit as well. Had to lose his in the meantime, and that will keep this Uber advantage alive after some questionable med devs here. Back in the favor of the Frenchies.
Yeah, really scrapping through a few minutes coming in here. It makes it pretty interesting coming into the last 8 or so minutes of this map. You know, it's really everything to play for. People losing their meds here and there, all the time pretty much. And, you know, anything could really happen in this game at this point.
Yeah, the Uber advantage in the Frenchies' hand wants to be taken to second. They do use it to lobby, seeing the combo, want everything. Iconic gets Flower, Kalis goes down as well as Spirit. The Uber still tries to chase Euthanasia, but he's barely getting into spawn, but they don't have any cap time on second yet.
Oh, Kalade's hitting every rocket, crazy. But he still cannot defeat the buff scout that is Alien, I assume. Kalade's really buying his team a lot of time here. Euthanasia is in spawn with 88%, just needs to heal up. And that was actually, yeah, we've been told by our cameraman that there was a huge block from Joey on second, which is why the Frenchies just stood around on last doing pretty much nothing for ages. That's actually really nice heads-up play from Joey to delay the Frenchies for so long there so that Euthanasia could get his Uber and the spawns would come in.
Yeah, it might as well save them so much trouble. Even Asia popped probably early. No, he holds onto that for much longer than I anticipated. Those rockets were actually really well done. But in the end, the scout has to come in to clean up of that damage to get the force out. Olga will still lose his life, but the Uber force is still somewhat early. Everybody able to escape makes secondary contestable fairly likely for the Frenchies here.
Yeah, the Frenchies going to opt to walk in. I think they're starting to go. Okay, they're pressuring, they're prodding, but they're mostly waiting for their spawner, which is a good idea. Rafson coming from Saw here, and then Soldiers are looking to try and get some good denial. Joey's going to jump back. Actually, it's only pretty much Joey on second. It's very late. He's got a nice frag onto Raph, really good damage onto the med, but he won't use. That's really nice to be played by Mula. Just need to be a little bit careful here not to drop. All of the Frenchies are so weak. And Euthanasia is only 70%, so they should be able to get this fairly soon, and they've dropped the entire team! No!
The bombs worked out perfectly. Mula was just cornered. Everybody wanted to just take space to make it safe for the medic, but they didn't anticipate them to just go for the other kills instead. And Mula is still being chased. Uber has been forced by Flower. Joe wants to connect. Will just barely stay alive for now, but this Uber won't accomplish anything anymore. Really, really well done by Quasar here. Just playing against the expectations, getting the kills instead of the force, and still getting the force anyway at the end of it.
And once again, I mean, you have pretty much all the good plays that are coming out of Quasar going through Khaled. Like, he got a huge play, he killed Raph and got so much damage onto the medic that it was just, Mula had to back out, and all the other players were pretty weak as well. They just get spammed out and died, and then
look at Aiden smiling onto Euthanasia. He just gets the kill. Just walks from cheese, gets sprayed on top of that. Raph with some extra damage to make that easier, but still just sneaks in there, gets two, and the rest of the team just now in cleanup mode.
I was cycling home half an hour ago. My heart rate was pretty high, but this game, it's raised it a lot further because there's so much action in these Div 1 teams as they play, man. It's just crazy. You have drops all the time. You have crazy plays where the med drops the entire team. I love to see it.
Yeah, now Frenchie's back in advantage here with just one brave play by his scout to get this advantage back. Mild resistance here by Quasar, and most importantly, Flower is still in forward spawn as sniper.
He is, and he's going to get a peek onto Mula, and he will get the headshot, so that's huge. Could have probably got the body shot if he wanted to, but he's going to get the headshot for epic style. So now it's a 60% advantage. The table's turning once again. Euthanasia going to be able to walk in pretty soon with a really sizable advantage for his team.
Yeah, let's see if they can make it safe though. Using here is not too bad, but preferably
don't
want to double kill by the sticky trap. Raph just saying no to any of that. 2 down instantly, and 90% advantage is gonna slow down a little bit here, maybe even allowing for some sort of sex. Carnix maybe taking the pit too early, yet going down immediately as the jumps come in, looking for any sort of kills here, but not quite Euthanasia yet. Doesn't matter, so far they're just trading.
He gone from Olga, meaning, but Olga did actually die there, and Uber's gonna be popped off. They aren't gonna get much with this Uber, but they have got 2 frags, so they could take the mid, as Mula won't have his Uber very soon. They're going to be walking through choke with the sticks from Raph. He hasn't dead them yet. He could get 2 frags. He deaths now, but we'll get 1. That's pretty good. And Raph is denying this choke actually so well. Huge damage from Raph and Dwell. They've absolutely dunked on them. Just everyone going through that one door is really, really easy for Raph. And once again, the tables have turned, flipped all the way back over. The Frenchies have a huge advantage. They've got 2-player advantage, and they should be able to take the second and probably push last if they're quick about it.
Yeah, I think just everybody wants to be a hero today and just save the game in the last second. And it brings us here all the way back to last. Frenchies in advantage. 60%, 50% as we speak is fairly doable if you just have good coordination. That's all it takes right now. Uber comes in from the right side, storming in. Gun barely built, doesn't even need to be prioritized so much right now. They all come to the left side instead, trying to go deep. Not hitting the best damage at all, and Colin and Joey are just dealing so much damage on the other side.
Yeah, Joey, I think he killed Olga and got so much damage into the sky. He just pretty much stuffed 3 players into the shutter, all on his lonesome. It's really nice play from him to just jump behind the Uber and kill the non-Uber players. And once again, the tables have flipped. Quasar going to be walking out. They've got 3 minutes to take this round back, and really, it's looking like either team can take this at the moment. Joey's going to be trying to get a test point here. They're actually playing pretty aggressive with the Frenchies. They could use into them if they want to. They're really close, but Euthanasia has not popped yet. We'll get 4 snap. Hillis should jump forward. He could crush them here and choke if he's quick about it.
Went behind. He walked over the soldier, gets Flower, and is on last. Joey needs to hit it. Really long range rocket, but it's not enough. And he was so indecisive in any of that. Like you said, they could have popped so much earlier and just made it so much easier for themselves, but they wanted to... I don't know what they wanted to do, to be honest. Like, nobody had much of a clue. They were just standing behind the train, waiting for something to happen, still taking the initiative here.
Yeah, there was a point where there was about 5 French players just grouped up on the right side of grass. If Careless just bombed into them, it would have been an absolute nuke, but he didn't, and they've been backcapped, so that's unfortunate. They're going to be rolling out to this pretty crucial mid for Quasar. They really need to get something out of this if they're going to be staying in this match. Well, the French soldier's going very aggressive, and Euthanasia has gone down, but Kalade's behind. He's going to get some good damage onto Karnax, but he will actually go down. And it looks like Muller's going to hit a really nice surf, going to get out from Sword. He's probably going to live here unless Kalis can kill him, and yeah, that's really huge from Muller. And this is actually looking really, really good for the Frenchies now with that back cap from Karnax and a pretty critical mid-win here.
Yeah, just able to defend again against the incoming onstorm of players once Euthanasia died. Able to hold onto the on-medic's life. Ruff went down, that's affordable enough if you get everything else. And now they just need to stall out some time here. They could try to push if they really want to make a statement here, but they really aren't hard-pressed to do so and take any risks at the moment.
Yeah, I think that back cap's just really taking the wind out of the sail for Quasar. They were looking so good in these exchanges, really. They would always, they might make a few mistakes, but they'd end up looking pretty solid with a uber advantage or some kind of thing that can make a playoff. But Karnax, he says he just doesn't really care.
Yeah, no, it's all on Quasar right now to find the crucial kills, find the crucial play. So far, it's Flower trying to take some shots, doesn't happen. I think he wants to off-class, or well, switch back to class, to the main class with Scout. It is once again, Uber is being built, and this is such a hard push to make here, on even Uber's out of last. This is so hard to make without risking a backup, without just being in bad positions on second, taking him out towards Uber to begin with, but they don't have much of a choice here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of it's not the most interesting decision to see, but
Do pretty much like it from the Frenchies to stalemate this out as the Quasar. They do try and take a trade in here, but they've already lost one in here, and it's really not looking too good for them. They're going to maybe try and make a dry push. They really have to do something now if they're going to have any chance of winning this round. We see where they opt to push out of, but really this is a massive mountain to climb for them with only 1 minute left. The Frenchies with a very secure hold on their second.
Yeah, this is an all or nothing play, and it always favors the nothing more than the all, but you don't have much of a choice, so the push comes into lobby, everybody takes position, wants to go forward, Joey and Joe take a fight, and Cheese take an awful lot of damage. Colin switches position with this soldier to try to take the fight, but Alien Smiley as well tags in for his soldier, instead denies them entrance into second, but they just keep on going. They need to, they don't have much of a choice, storming up to the point, getting some space here. The Frenchies respected, but as long as they slow them down, it's fine. People take a lot of damage, draw behind lines as well, has to threaten the backup or anything, but the Frenchies just slowly crumble here.
Yeah, the Frenchies just kind of afraid of wiping, I suppose. You don't really want to commit to that, and they do eventually lose the fight. But probably 20 seconds left now. There's almost certainly no time for Quasar. The Frenchies just need to exist a tiny bit, and that's pretty much the game, as GGs have actually already been called. So this is the game.
An Uber exchange on the point alone would kill 8 seconds as long as you make it a solo one. So pretty much impossible at this point. Well, it uses just for good measure, heavy on the point as well, just to rub it some more in. And there we go. The Frenchies barely clutch it out 3-2 after a fairly decent start in their favor. Quasar still hanging onto it for much longer than it was initially looking like it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be kind of a roll to begin with, but we've got a pretty close game. And really just that one back count, that was all the difference. So sneaky play by Karnax.
And a bit of DM. He had to get through, I think Flower was who was holding lower. Just one good shot basically made all the difference here today for map number 1. Map number 2, I believe, is Process, if I remember correctly, which is where we will be going next. I don't know the map order who picked what, but it's Process, Snake, Gully, any of those three shouldn't matter too much in my opinion. Anything else, there is much more of a map advantage in my opinion.
Alright, I'm checking the logs here. I've sorted by damage a minute. And I see Raph way at the top, 284 damage a minute and only 176 damage taken a minute. So that means,
a rough estimate of how good a demo man is doing and hitting his shots is the ratio of those two numbers. And Raph do
basically positive 100 DPM or more. So that's really, really nicely played by him. As opposed to Kalis really having not too much of an impact.
Yeah, I think you mentioned a few times that he just overextends a few too many times in positions where he just couldn't afford to. And I feel personally, but I could easily be wrong, that it looked like it was situations where it would make sense for the team to play aggressive, but they were just not on the same page and he just went in before everybody else.
Yeah, he seemed to be
like calling ahead of time.
Yeah, he wanted. I mean, I don't know what's going on in his head or their team comms, but potentially if all of them had done the same play, it might have worked out a bit better. But only one of them is gonna play that aggressive, just gonna get caught out and crushed. What else do we see from these logs? Anything that stands out to you, Dum?
I mean, you praised Karnax a second ago, but 26 in 13 is always nice to look at least after the game for yourself. So can't be too upset about that if you're a French scout today.
Definitely, it's a very beautiful KD. You know, exactly 2.0. You love to see it.
Let's see what else. Actually, yeah, like you mentioned, Raf's damage taken is actually super low, which is really surprising for them, man.
I think. So
Especially like all the pockets are way ahead of that. Kalis and Collate as well as Roma and our Demoman, respectively. His damage taken is so much lower compared to that, which is really almost strange to see. Let's take a look at the medics. Maybe there's something interesting here. I see a lot of the same in the first few stats here. What else do we have? Near full death charges. I don't know when this happened, but recently logs changed to have the near full death charges, not say how many seconds that is before you got or something. Like how much percentage you were on, which is really upsetting. Because I don't remember anymore. It was not much, but it used to say how much time that was before you got.
I never used to look at those logs. I only ever looked at the DPM and the KD.
Like a true demo man. Alright, gemm confirms it was 95. I don't know why that got changed. Kind of make me sad.
We do see the trend that, you know, despite some really nice like individual plays, particularly by Khaled, I'd say, from Quasar, you do see the trend borne out in the logs of the Frenchies probably overall having better DM, particularly I'd say in their scouts and demo. So 93 kills and about 4,000 more damage from the Frenchies, which is, yeah, like that kind of makes sense. They seem to be the more experienced team in that regard.
Yeah, and like that makes sense given the history of the teams. One being like a completely new project, one being fairly similar to last season's roster of their team with 2 new additions, one of which being the medic, which obviously has much less of an impact on DM, besides if your medic happens to be an arrow god or happen to be terrible at arrows last season, you know? So other than that, it has definitely like much more history between the players, makes the difference in teams in terms of like team fight coordination, stuff like that, which definitely came through a few times.
Yes, I suppose the only other thing I'm seeing on the logs, I'm looking at med frags. That's one of the final things I like to look at. I don't really care about scout med picks because the scout class can get a med pick by doing 3 damage. But I do see Duo and Khaled both getting 4 and 3 med picks respectively, which is pretty good. And given the spectacularity, perhaps, I don't know, of the med picks that Khaled got, I'm still going to say that Khaled played very well in that map.
Yeah, I would say so too. He definitely like tried to take like a leading position from Roma, if you want to look at it that way, like just make the place for his team to play off a lot of the times. And it's not like the Frenchies didn't have any of that, but it was significantly toned down on their soldiers compared to that. It was fairly noticeable, I would say.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you have any predictions for this next map, Dom? How do you think it's going to go?
Let me see. Well, given the fact that I'm cheating and looking at who picked which map, I would give the favor to the Frenchies since they already won the map pick of Quasar.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be less scope for the soldiers on Quasar to actually be, putting their team on their back, doing some carrying in this process map because it's so scout heavy and scout favored, and probably the DM of the Frenchies is just going to carry them through to victory, I expect, because really this in particular, even more so than Snakewater, is a map where you need your demo to be hitting a lot of shots, or at least as many, at least DMing as well as the enemy demo. And as we've seen, it's fairly clear that RAF seems to have the DM advantage over Kalis.
Should be interesting for sure. I wonder how stalemate this game will be, because I mentioned like for a second in Snakewater that the Frenchies are fairly content with playing stalemates, playing slow, doing what is necessary in their eyes to take it home, and we had a bit of that on Snakewater as well. And as with pretty much any map, you can't slow it down as much as you want it to be, basically. On Process, that's no different. So I wonder how much that will happen this game. Last time they had an early lead, so they could afford to do it for quite a while before eventually the cracks were showing and Quasar was able to break through for like a solid 10 minutes or so. I wonder how this will shape out this time, especially with the mid fights where Quasar eventually got a much better hang of them. If they can carry this on into process and then just deny the ability to play slow off of an early lead.
And I'm specking Joey in the pregame, and I do see that he has got the shotgun on. So it'll be interesting to see if he does run out on process. Because really, I mean, what the standard, theory of soldiers on process is they take a buff, they jump very deep, make space, and die instantly. And you don't really tend to do that with gunboats too well. But perhaps Joey's going to be waddling a bit more. Potentially because that's more their team structure with Kalis taking less heals.
He did deal about 1,000 damage with the shotgun last game.
Oh, okay.
For what it's worth.
We'll see if it works. So Kalis on his first mid, rolling out right side quite aggressively. He hasn't a little bit low on health. He's taking a sticky from Raph. Doesn't seem to have done actually any pre-fire stickies. Olga's going to go very deep with a huge Banny bomb. Both swords are actually huge, so deep, and they're going to kill Euthanasia and Flowers. So that's really huge. And all the Frenchies need to do now is just back up. Karnak is very deep, just trying to frag out. And he gets two completely isolated when he's on 30 HP, so I have no idea how Karnak lived there. I feel like Spirit must have missed a few shots on him. But that was actually crazy from the Frenchies. I mean, it was looking like a pretty decent mid, even after the soldier bombs, but then Karnak just absolutely owned everyone, so it was a very easy win after that.
Yeah, and just as he said, they should play passive. Karnak just went in and completely denied Quasar's ability to just coordinate any sort of bomb. Even if he didn't get those kills, they had to be concerned about him and just couldn't jump in general, and him killing two of them said no to any sort of plans after that to begin with. Really well done of the Solly bombs to just clean up from there. Getting mid, getting second, getting all the way to lobby now. Euthanasia only on 65. This push has to be quick though.
Yeah, actually, Euthanasia having built pretty well here. You see which side, after side's coming. Kalis doesn't actually have stickies on point right now, so they could play that and do that pretty well. Raf's gonna get the sentry down. They're not really doing too much here. Getting some good cap time now. Kalis is walking forward and they have got they go very aggressive. Raf going down. They're walking pretty far forward here. There's actually Dro is behind in panic and I don't think anyone knows that he's there. So, oh no, he's come for the play kind of a lot too early really. I don't know why he would think they've been pushing out there. So that's kind of a mistake from Dro, to be honest.
Almost gets Euthanasia for it now in the end. Sneaks around the pillar once again. Barely not able to get the second rook out. Like we said, a bit missed time. Still leaves Quasar an opportunity to at least try to get out of Mars here. Almost even do a 10% difference is able to catch him by surprise if they're not quick enough here.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice push. I mean, really, this should be very hard for Quasar, but they're making it work. Olga has gone down. He took up some very questionable positioning, but again...
Karnak once again! Just does it on his own. I don't need you guys, I just do it myself.
Karnak is an absolute beast at the moment. It's always a risky proposition to try and push out there. And, I mean, well, they were just about winning the fight, which is fair enough, but, Karnak was behind, so if he'd have been there, they probably would have won the DM fight anyway, but, he's going to win the round, so he doesn't need a DM fight.
Go with the logs, unless they're saying something other than me winning, so there we go, he wins the round, they might win the game, and he puts them with a nice little lead here at the beginning, with Olga once again going through the medic, but Drew nowhere to be found, no follow-up. Colin goes down on the other side to Karnak. Red team tries to take it over the right side here collectively, it's not going too well, though they lose so many lives in the process. Able to get Karnak in return eventually, but everybody else on the French is just falling back, letting them come to them.
Huge
Raph shows them what's up.
I mean, really, I don't know, I feel like the French scouts are just absolutely DM beasting on these mid tier, they just, I think Alien ran in and killed Kalis, then the medic, Euthanasia, was pretty much just alone. Karnak went and killed him. So, just kind of in the straight up DM fight that sometimes process mid can devolve into, the Frenchies just looking far superior at the moment.
Yeah, and this time it was definitely a lot more of that. We had a bit of that at the end last time, but this time Olga's bomb was completely unsupported for a while, so it just came down to being able to beat them out like aggressively as a team on this right side attempted push, and that just didn't work out at all for Quasar. Yet again, push comes in, this time from 1 into last with the Uber pop fairly early, no gun to be found anywhere yet again. So Uber just straight to the point, no cap time really yet, as they just try to find people that they can kill. Aliens while he gets one, that's the DuMmTm, forces everybody to rotate right, point gets played again, and there is the collab eventually coming in.
Yeah, it was a nice Uber really. I feel like there wasn't enough last classes from Quasar. I can continue to forget their name, but which meant that the Frenchies just got in so deep. Even though they came in from 1, they got all the way into the top right bit of Panic Room, and that meant that they just took over so much of the map with their reboot, which is kind of easy for them.
Yeah, without a gun, it's just way too easy to take that space, and they just let it happen to them. 2-0 lead for the Frenchies yet again. Similar story from last map here. Let's see if Quasar can respond eventually, like they did before, reviving to mid just now. Let's see who can find the first damage off. Just on the point, wants to get Kalis to row, as well as Olga going in left side, finding some damage, but more so on themselves. Collate as well, trying to force them back. Yet does that, good granted. Frenchies falling far back into choke, but so far still trying to contest his Carnix a bit forward again, trying to take the fight. So much damage by Ruff, and Olga coming in to clean up off of Carnix's distraction, and that is what they've been looking for.
Oh god, that was... I mean, Ruff just hit like a kind of lucky pipe on Euthanasia, and Euthanasia backed out, and then went back in because he realized he had to heal his team, and then caught another pipe. So it was, I mean, really pretty nice prediction from Ruff there, actually. And it was looking like a pretty... They lost pretty much all the position, the Frenchies. Actually, yeah, Euthanasia just getting pretty unlucky there and losing mid for his team. Clade, though, is hiding in sewers. He could actually make a play onto Mula here if he gets the right timing. There's pretty much no one watching from him. There's actually no scout on second at all. He's going to pencil onto him, and he gets a huge, nice direct. And really well played by Clade, getting the frag, and he almost defeated though. But yeah, that's well played by Clade.
Yeah, just really patient waiting in sewer. Nobody spotted him. Much more importantly to mention, nobody went there, nobody checked it. Big mistake has been made, immediately capitalized with just a bit of luck. Colleague's part to not have that happen to him, not get seen there, and suddenly it's all shifted back again. And this is how last game went to a 2-2 scoreline. Just one simple mistake and it can turn around. They just need to make this Uber count now.
Yeah, I mean, we see once again, it's the playmaking ability of the Quasar soldiers that's really getting them back into the game. But the difference between the mids is that process mid is so big that if you're unsupported as soldier, there's really not very much you can do. Pretty much every mid, I feel like Clade has been very deep and got like one nice rocket off and then has died. So it's pretty difficult for the Quasar soldiers to have as much impact as they had on Snake. But they will be taking this Uber in. Got 2 picks already, and they should be able to take this pretty much for free with the Frenchies backing out. But the Frenchies 80% now should be able to get this Uber for last.
Ooh, and nice little awareness there. They spotted the sticks under the point, which can easily catch Medic off guard just walking up the slope there. So that won't be an issue now. Like I said, pretty much for free, getting into second. College just checking out what's on last. So far, season gun being built, heavy on the field. It's now back. Spawn to switch to sniper, see what's up. But they know the gun is there, and they know it's right side. Can be moved, obviously, but does take some time. So by the time that happens, you might be able to adapt to it, and at least you know that there is one.
Yeah. I think this is the first time that Quasar have had the Frenchies on their last in this match, so in this map rather. So it's going to be interesting to see what their
7
approach
minutes
is.
or something. It took them a while, but if they can do it now, then that sets the precedent of them being able to do it at all, and that's what might matter here a lot. Just be able to tell it to yourself that you can do it.
I mean, the story of the first map was pretty much the same as this, right? It was 2-0 to the Frenchies to begin with. I'm looking pretty strong, and then the Clay team just getting slowly back into.
But Kalis overextends once again into a sticky trap. Gets taken down by Raph on the left side door here into last, door 5 if you will, while trying to get the gun, and suddenly this all looks a whole lot different now. You have to be scared of any potential sags, no stakes to deny anyone just entering.
Yeah, indeed, and I think the Frenchies fairly sensibly not opting to push off that. I mean, there is space to be made there with the demo down, but they're sitting pretty comfortable. Precious Loss can be quite a fortress if you hold it properly.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. They like playing slow. They are fairly content with this situation, you know, I would imagine. Is what I've been told by them specifically, so I wouldn't be surprised if they only look for like the biggest of potential plays out of last year to take advantage of instead of the small ones.
Yeah, definitely. So, what would be your desired way to break this down, Adam? If you were the chess master and you could use all the Quasar players as your chess pieces.
Well, we've seen on Snake before that Flower can snipe and that they have coordination between him and soldiers taking advantage of the damage he deals on people he baits. So the first pick is good. The question is what else they can do with this, because one sniper pick usually isn't enough. And there we go. It baits somebody out. Kalis with the sniper taking advantage of one overextension yet again immediately. Raph gets popped in though straight away, catching them a bit by surprise, dropping the sniper. Gun is still there to deny even more. Most of this Uber was just dedicated to denying the enemy Uber, so the gun goes down super late. People weak on entry, but they still want to bust through here anyway on the right side.
Yeah, it's really nice play from Raph there to take the Uber proactively into to actually like stop anything that Quasar were trying to do. And 2 players are going to go down for them because it's just really, really nice from Raph They're going to actually get crunched in lobby here. Euthanasia is probably going to go die. Yeah, that's huge aggression from the Frenchies, and it's only Flower alive. He's going to play for a backup in top IT, but he's probably going to get found by Duo. Maybe not, actually. Yep, he's going to find him. He's going to... Oh, how did Duo miss that rocket? Jesus. So Flower's actually going to get the kill onto Duo, and he's going to back out to mid.
Well, the first place I've seen Bro's name in ever was the jump server, so, you know, cut him some slack. He can hit rockets while he's jumping. Maybe a bit harder if the target is moving.
It was just such a tiny area. I thought it was unmissable. Maybe he thought that too.
With showing forwards, he just sneaked all the way around mid, finds himself behind Muda. Nobody saw him waddling out of forward spawn. He just gets away with it. But Carnix is well behind it. Nobody's checking shots. Will sees it, but Euthanasia is already way too weak. Will stay alive, but there's still Olga and Raph will connect the shot to get the medic here. Both meds go down in a really scrappy fight on mid.
An absolute... It's chaos here. With meds going down. I saw a +2 in the STV chat. Was that a drop from Mula?
Might have been by Mula, yeah, because they just didn't see Joey waddling out of forward spawn. There was a soldier stationed on the red crate, but he was not looking to the right side, but towards left choke, which you kind of would expect, to be honest. But it just happened to happen in the worst moment possible.
Yeah, as the Frenchies do try and head in for the choke here. Clay's gonna go for a big bomb, gonna get some decent damage, but he will die pretty quickly. A nice shot from Duo to take him out. And now Quasar just gonna have to back out from their choke. Their aggression has completely failed. The soldiers kind of got like pretty baited there, to be honest. They both went in one by one and with no support from their team, and they're just gonna have to leave. And to be honest, really had no reason to give that up. Like, didn't just sack those soldiers in. It was even. They could have just held normally. But
and it still is almost even, and only down one player right now. But like you said, they're just giving it all up yet again. To play maybe a bit too safe, maybe miscalculating Yuba's situation a bit. Maybe expecting Mula to have an advantage, because he did die quite a lot earlier, so realistically, now that I think about it, it should not be this even, realistically speaking.
I mean, that play kind of sums up the whole game, really. Like, the combo, it's Scouts, Demo, and Med of Quasar, they're just playing really far back, quite safe, and just letting the soldiers do all the work. But if you don't support them enough, there's really not that much soldiers can do on a map like Crocet, because there's scouts that are just going to clean them up over and over again.
Yeah, and yet again we're finding ourselves in a last situation, this time on the other side of the map. We haven't seen too many stalemates quite yet. Carnix, as always, wants to be the playmaker here. Joey says no to that, just flicks a rocket in his face. Flower on snipers, Bird on heavy is so far what's up on the defense here, and what is supposed to help them break out of this last point.
As Kalane will go for the sack key, he's going to go for a Raph because he can't find the medic. He's got nice rockets onto him. It's the demo down for the Frenchies. We'll see if Quasar actually do anything
as well. Joey actually commits off of this damage, but it's way too late. Draw got an arrow, and Olga and Alien are already there to just deny any sort of play there. And that's 2 down, maybe just a bit too much. Risky play into second here.
I mean, just really, it was just kind of a half-assed commit there, you know, like, with the demo down, like, Kalis, you know, he's got a lot of free reign, he's the only really decent mid to long-range class on the server. He could just, like, pressure the enemy team out if he wanted to, but it's still, again, it's just Joey going in alone. I think he's probably sacking out of last with a shotgun, it's not going to work, and he just gets cleaned up.
Yeah, let's see, the Heavy is still on the field trying to just slowly waddle into lobby, but at this point it's kind of too late. Collate trades once again, and they're already down 2. They can't afford to lead many more numbers, and Kate is still trying to contest him there, but he doesn't have heals on him. Almost dies for this, and it would have been disastrous. The demo down with 2 down already would have been completely last point over as it stands. With the sniper, it is still not quite enough for the Frenchies to try to play fast. Still getting rewarded for it. Carnix gets a shot onto Flower. Draw already in on last, finds the Heavy, but everybody else in lobby is trying to take advantage of the space created here.
I mean, there's so much space getting from all angles. They're going to get a nice sack up to... Oh, actually, there was a huge pipe or something up to... which soldier was that? How did that... Wait, what? How did that soldier live? There was a soldier that sacked in from rollout and got air piped and then lived somehow. That was crazy. But anyway, that means that Euthanasia is alive. And the Frenchies get nothing from their pressure. So they're going to be pushing out now. Quasar, and lots of damage onto Raph here by Joey. Raph very, very weak. Trying to back out from sewers, but Clay's going to bomb him and will take that. So that's a very nice play from the soldiers of Quasar, and they have actually successfully taken second.
Yeah, it caused a bit of trouble, but they've gotten this far, so let's see how much further they can take this. So far, both teams still down 2. Olga will have the best spawn here out of the 4 down. And because of that, Luna just decides to take Uber exchange into the enemy team. Buy some time for Olga to arrive, have better numbers after this exchange potentially. Try to take the fight from there, or at least just waste time, not let them do anything on 4 players each.
Yeah, it was a nice solo by Alien, just getting Quasar just flashed so many players in their combo that just really had to back out immediately. And you know, Quasar, you can see they're really trying to go off these advantages that they get, but their Frenchies are equal to it. They're pushing them back at every opportunity.
And the Uber just bought enough time here to keep this even for the moment. Both teams still waiting here, building Uber. We probably won't see too much action until these Ubers are back on the field, as you would expect. Usually, at least, you don't see people taking risks before they have their own Uber as a safety net, which is kind of unfortunate, because you can just catch people with surprise. Maybe just a bit easier, not by much, but maybe it will just make the difference to do it while the Ubers are being built on both sides.
Yeah, it can be quite a nice surprise play, but neither team opting for that at the moment, and really not too much going on at the moment. Actually, we do see Joey hiding an IT. He's going to be looking for a frag here, maybe onto a scout or a soldier. Olga's about to peek though, he's going to walk in there and lots of damage onto Olga. Oh sorry, that's not Olga, that's right. But they're both going to back out in the end. Nothing really happening from that one. As we are back
on
in
the other side, however, Alien just gets collated. Raph goes down as well for his trouble. Kale is still aggressive. Choke wants some more off of that. Nobody feeds into the red DuMmTm here for the moment, but he just doesn't let up. He wants some more damage. Even rides for the backup. Doesn't matter though. Alien just again in there, gets the kill. Can't as well, but both of them go down for it. Eventually, the Frenchies might just feed too much into this bait and to choke here.
Only soldiers for the Frenchies right now. They're playing high ground really nicely. Olga's actually got shotgun, I just realized. But they are going to get slowly pushed out because the scout class and the 4v3 just is far too strong for them. So that's actually a pretty nice mid take. Just so much, you know, frags really traded a lot in choke there, but Quasar just getting the better out of it, really.
Yeah, just enough aggression and choke to bait people forward to try to deny them, but not at the right times each. Getting both scouts, getting a soldier on top of that, making the mid take here fairly simple and easy for them as it stands, but you would have to do it yet again in any sort of capacity to make play happen. Draft completely out of position on the right side corner here near Sewer, gets completely destroyed by the soldiers jumping in and demo cleaning up. Joey won't survive this, but without a demo, there's so much to deny that you have here.
Yeah, it's really... Kalis has picked Raph at choke twice now, which is really nice from him. But with Joey going down, it's going to really hinder their chances of getting through. But if they want to, they could, you know, try and get something going. Kalis going to bomb through, taking a lot of space. Gets a really nice walk onto Alien. Alien's actually pretty weak. Kalis is going very aggressive. They got some really nice space actually. They want to make use of it. But they're going to... The French is going to trade in, but the Uber spot were lost earlier. It's really nice milk from Euthanasia. They could actually take this. Kalis is going to walk forward. They're going quite aggressive with Zuba. Kalis is jumping in and they've all been pushed out once. So that's a really nice second take, using that demo man advantage.
In the meantime, Joe still behind Olga as well, found himself somewhere behind this Uber, but neither of them able to survive it. Flower gets the last kill there, both soldiers down still as the push already arrives into last. Gun is being built, but it might be too little too late. Flower already on the point, Karnix just now leaving spawn, and Muller is not enough to block this point here, and Quasar eventually take it. Took them a while, but here we are 2-1 with 12 minutes left.
Yeah, I mean, I've been praising Raph's DM in comparison to Kalis, but really on that round, he died at the start of a fight 3 times in a row, and they lost 3 points in a row. So Kalis showing his, potentially not his aim, but his brain there over Raph. So it's really well played by him, and they're actually getting back into this game now with 12 minutes left.
Let's see what the midfights have to say here. So far, Collies jumped were the only really notable thing that happened, and they're always unsupported yet again, going straight in for Raph, getting him immediately, getting Muller as well. He goes down the ball, his troubles, trying to make some play happen as well. Just as I say that, maybe it doesn't need much more than Collate here. He just does it all on himself, where the rest of the team just protects Medic, which works for so far. Karnix, Olga, Alien's money all want the cleanup on Euthanasia. None of them will get it. And there we go, mid-fight in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty much the first mid where Clade actually got something done, but it was, you know, it was a lot. It was the med and the demo, right? I didn't quite see where his bomb came from, but, you know, just getting in, not quite denied by the French scouts. Now it's a really, really nice opportunity for Quasar to get back into this game.
Yeah, that was a huge individual play with just nice team support on the defense. Was on the offense, but sometimes it's all you need, and they only need it at least one more time after this if they want to take it straight from this last push here. Let's see if they can do that. Defense this time, a bit more set up, all are up, all 6 players are here. Gun is already level 2 snipers on the field, so they would have to work a lot harder for this time.
As the Uber just come in through left side here, haven't got the sentry down yet, which is kind of questionable. Halo has got it down, and all of the Frenchies are sitting on this top right. It's a huge bomb in, Joey gets so much damage, Flade gets a lot of damage as well, and they're all very, very weak on the French side, but they're also weak on Quasar. Alien's going to come in with it. He's not going to get died. Ooh, will he die on heavy? He will die. It's over.
That was such a good coordination at the beginning of that. It looked like they were undecisive on Quasar here at the beginning, just didn't know what they wanted to jump. Once they figured it out, they just destroyed them on the right side, but the heavy left. caught them by surprise and nothing was able to stop it at the end.
That last position was so chaotic that I completely failed to cast it, so which is a testament to how I don't know, it was a pretty good defense really.
Yeah, really clutch. They just were outplayed on one half, but they had plan B at all times with the heavy, and that's what counts here. And it brings them a small advantage, but maybe a significant one. Flower has different ideas. The snipes from Choke, really aggressive with Kalis, everybody leading this in, trying to force a fight here. Maybe a bit too early. If Nature takes so much damage, all of them do for that matter, but Alien Smite is the only one that goes down, because no one else wants to commit in that without that Devilman.
Yeah, it's another situation where Raph is dying first and just absolutely letting Quasar just get in for free. Clay's gonna go for a huge bomb onto Mulo, actually gets one rocket, gets two, he will get the third. It's a very fantastic play from Clay. Singing his praises all night, and he's actually opened up a great opportunity for Quasar here. They could just med down, another player down, Alien's generally just spawning. This should be around for certain. You'd think.
See if they can do it. They still have a sniper that might hit another chance to see. Spirit goes down early as well in this Uber. No scouts anywhere to be found. It's all on Joey and Kalis unless Flower pulls something out of the magic bag here. And so far that's just not happening. One kill is all they get. Force it towards the point. There we go. Flower hits a shot. People are weak, but there's no scouts to clean up. Flower needs to do it with the SMG himself. Point is not being played right now, but it doesn't matter. Another headshot by Flower. Kalis with the cleaver, forcing it towards the point. And they've done it with 3.5 players if you want, and Flower made it 4.5 effectively by these shots he hit.
This is actually a really similar situation to last map, if you think about it, although, yeah, so at this point in last map, we had some very, very scrappy plays for about 10 minutes, and then we finally had a round, and that was the decider of the match. So this mid is actually pretty crucial. We'll see if Raph can kind of turn it around. He's been dying a lot in these past few rounds. He needs to be trying to preserve his life more, so he can actually, you know, help his team die the areas they need to as the Demoline class.
See what happens this mid. Once again, Connie just going deep, but they're so ready for it this time. Everybody has to do so much more now, and it just doesn't happen. Flower keeps it, everybody straight away over the point. On Quasar, it's not going well. The Snake Water strat is being predicted entirely in Spirit. The last man standing here, just cornered and left to die.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I was talking about Raph at the start of the mid. I saw him, he was on top of the crates, and he got bombed, and he killed the guy who bombed him and surfed all the way into choke to survive. So it was really nicely played by him. And pretty much the exact opposite mid as we saw last time. And Euthanasia only at about 10% here, so it's pretty much full advantage for the Frenchies. And they're going to be coming into lobby here, looking to take this last.
Yeah, these last few minutes have been really demanding by Quasar, so the Frenchies need to respond quickly and really, really convincingly here if they want to take the sticks all over the place, but they get that early onto the Uber. Raph gets dropped from it though, was flashed in. Uber completely onto Alien. Sentry goes down and they do get a bonus kill onto Collate, but without a Demoman, this is just such a hard task to try to accomplish.
Really don't know how he got dropped there. You should never not have your demo flash through that like first bit where there's a lot of stick traps often. And so that's kind of questionable from Muller, but yeah, Raph continuing other than that mid, you know, his difficult game here on Process. Still the Frenchies are in a pretty decent position. Well, it's 40%, so Kalis actually will be taking the Uber in through low. There's no sticks, Raph got quite a late spawn. They'll be walking in pretty much for free. Olga will go down on top, but Carnix is going for the back cap. And no one has seen him, but Clay is on last, so Clay needs to win this 1v1.
He just needs to delay time actually because the cap is so far done. Carnix is way too late. Still takes the fight with Collate anyway. Joey goes back as well, trying to just secure the kill, have the second kill into mid even, not second. Flower as well, all of them just really concerned. But it also means that there's only 3 on this Uber right now.
Yeah, it's actually really nicely played by Quasar because they've taken mid pretty much for free, going back and getting those 2 frags. And the Frenchies, they kind of didn't recognize that there were so many players behind. They could have played a bit more aggressive, so they've let Quasar in pretty much for free. But Kalis has actually gone down to spam. It's pretty bad for them, and they're going to be trading in on their scout. So Uber's pretty much just even here. Raph just sitting around spamming, but Dwo's going to go very aggressive and will get cleaned up. It's an inclusive fight, but Quasar seem to be getting the better of it as they take over top, and the Frenchies probably going to have to leave now.
Yeah, they just gave up position early, baited the soldier forward with that. Intentionally or not, it worked perfectly. Dwo went down, able to win out the DM fight from there, even if just by damage and not kills. Doesn't matter. Frenchies concede round into second. They come out the better of it, and John just matters what they can do with this. And so far, it is go time for Corday yet again, trying to get onto Flower. 1 rocket 2. Is it enough time? It is! Gets the shot, and Flower went down at the same time though for the medic to die as well.
For the second time, Clade gets 2 decent rockets off. He doesn't quite kill the med, but he's allowed to shoot a 3rd rocket. I mean, he really should not be allowed to do that in that situation. Kalis is going to get a nice kill on Olga, who's trying to sack in, and this should mean it's full advantage for Quasar, and they should be able to take second pretty much for free. I mean, Dro's going to try and put up some resistance, but he's not really healed. And they can get in from top IT. They shouldn't have to use it. They can actually take this to last because it's still a huge advantage.
Ooh, for a second there, before Joey just accidentally killed his flank, but he sticks with the choke. But luckily, Ruff did not blind that in the moment, so Khalid and Flower will stay alive. Luckily enough, they still have the super going into last year, and they take it from right side lobby all the way into left, rotating over, trying to catch people in spawn, getting the gun, getting a lot of time on the point. Weird flashes there by the medic, and it just isn't enough time for the Frenchies to ref on the point and completely collapse onto them.
Oh, this is absolute chaos. But once again, we see another last bit.
Oh, Alien just doesn't die on heavy.
30 HP there. That was crucial tracking from him. If you
There
missed,
was a moment where two people for Quasar were on point, and both of them were flashed, and if just one of them wasn't Uber there for a moment, and I think the scout wasn't at the beginning of that, they might have just won it outright before the Frenchies could do anything.
The closest of possible last pushes here, but the Frenchies don't want to overextend here on the second. But the Quasar does actually have a better spawn. Kind of want to pressure, but no, they're not going to come in at all. That's pretty good play from the Frenchies not to take the risk of a messy fight in second, which could lose them around here. But really, Quasar, they're in position here. They've got, it's pretty much what they want. They've got 4 minutes, and just however they want to break the stalemate. If they get one opportunity, they can just win this round, and that could be the map.
Yeah, another long stalemate is nothing anybody can afford once another round gets caught here, so it's definitely crunch time for the Frenchies here. They can't afford to make many more mistakes here if they want to take away the victory here and just take it in 2 maps instead of having to go for a third one. For Quasar, as you said, this is the basically last chance to make something happen and just close it out with the rest of the time in the stalemate potentially.
Indeed. I wonder what their approach will be. So, Flower is taking lobby. They've got some boys in lobby, and I think, okay, Joey's going to go for a sack, but it doesn't really much at all. Raph's going very aggressive in lobby, but he will die. That's so questionable from Raph. I don't know what he's doing. I think he wants to get them off last. Like, he's just feeding. He does actually, well, okay, Flower has gone down, so that's not as bad. That could have been pretty questionable if Joey hadn't died there. Well, no, Flower hadn't died there, sorry.
Yeah, that was certainly lucky for the Frenchies and here to get that one more kill, to just force them to concede into second again instead of keeping them in lobby with the ammo down. Let's see what they can do with that. They decide to put Flower back on the sniper class that he has done so much work with so far, and just decide this off of the back of the sniper rifle. Olga sees it coming though, potentially. Is on Spy, can check for off classes. Might see it coming, might actually stick with it this time. First time a Spy has left spawn in this game.
Yep. So Olga's sneaking into lobby here. He's all the way through. He's ready to make his play. As he does spot Flower snipers, Flower going to be heading into the lobby here to try and make a play. Oh no, he's going to peek from one. Blade's making space for him. Not too much going on right now. Olga behind. Oh,
the Spy!
I have no idea how that happened.
He's still alive, which is, I guess, good, but never mind. There we go, he wanted to get out. They expected him to move that way. Joey gets the kill for it.
Incredible game sense from Joey, to be honest. It's a decent opportunity here, one pick, you know, to try and get something done. The Rafts, they're all holding very close to one. And really, Quasar need to pressure from lobby here to make sure that the attention of the Frenchies is distracted, but pretty much Raph is just holding down 1 and 2, and he's got nothing else to look at the moment. As he will have to start rotating now, as there are a lot more players in lobby. They're really, when they have that pick advantage, Quasar should just pressure from a lot more entrances to try and utilize it better.
Ooh, really aggressive jump by Olga into lobby, but not quite getting enough. But the follow-up is there. Draw an alien smiley. Get the kill throw, going deep as well, getting Flower, even though he's just weak, doesn't want to use, and the chase is not on. Surprisingly enough, they just let them get away with it this time. Just settled with the 4 kills instead. Nice aggressive damage there, just catching them by surprise and getting so much for it.
So a huge spawn wave denied by the cap time from the Frenchies. If those 3 players had gotten up, that could have been an easy contest on mid from Quasar, but actually they got all 3 spawns denied, and that means they're just all the way out to second. Actually, really, I mean, if that was if they could have taken a nice fight on mid there, that could have been, you know, the game deciding thing. But now this map is pretty much only the Frenchies can win at this point.
Well, it depends how bad you mess up the potential play here. Coming into second, soldier jump first by Olga, baits it in, draw, actually committing to it, not getting anything out of it though. Just gets denied, but Air has to fall to his death. Colleague meets him with a rocket. Olga escapes with his life, which is the silver lining, but with a minute left, you don't want to waste any time waiting for respawners here.
Well, no. I mean, I know, I guess they should probably wait a little bit, but they really have to get going fairly quickly. It's looking like we're going to have one last fight, a few seconds, and that's going to be deciding the map potentially. Frenchie's looking like they want to come through choke here. They're looking pretty aggressive. They do it very, very early. This is almost certainly not going to go well. Euthanasia actually counterpops pretty early himself. The Frenchie's going to back out choke. Olga's going to go behind, trying to get some distraction in. Aliens just will actually get cleaned up. And Raf's going to go so aggressive. Hit 2 pipes onto Joey. But still not too much happening from the Frenchie. Olga will go down behind, and it's not looking very good for them.
Yeah, they had an idea, but people were just picked up too quickly. Olga just came in with the rest of them went to choke. They had the scout died before any of that happened to begin with. It just didn't bode well at all for this push. That didn't start well with the questionable exchange to begin with. And it all turns around to not lend itself to any push into second, let alone last. But it's too little too late for Quasar here to take it regular time, so we will be going into a golden cap.
Indeed. I haven't looked at the logs yet, but I'm expecting Raf to have a questionable KD. And he doesn't. He's 16 for 14, so I don't know. I feel like a lot of Raf's deaths have been very, very noticeable, which was kind of why Quasar were able to get back into that game. You know, the Frenchies had a pretty good hold over it, and they just kind of got a bit sloppy for about a 10-minute period, during which Quasar got 2 rounds back. Then they started playing a bit better, and it was pretty much even. And so really, I mean, the Frenchies unable to keep up their level for an entire map, but if they can just do it for the a few minutes of this golden cap, then they should be able to win it.
Yeah, and like usual in golden caps, this can easily be decided by a mid fight, which will be so important here.
Okay, so I'm looking at the logs. I see Raf.
Let's take a look.
Raf top damaging again. Kalis, he's taking quite a lot more damage than he's dealt. So again, not so strong DM, but you did have a lot of pretty crucial picks on Raf that did really help his team out. 6 air shots from Joey, which is pretty
8
impressive.
by Collate.
Oh yeah.
That's collectively a lot higher than anything the Frenchies have to offer, at least.
Yep. I think if you look at the air shot stats, then you can really tell that it's the soldiers carrying Quasar.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I have to say about these logs.
Damage to Joey doing incredibly well here. 15 and 18 maybe doesn't sound so well on paper, but in a map like this where you just are forced to jump a lot and beat the scouts head on, you know, if you take 27% damage, you just need to use those heals to get in deep, die on the way maybe, but if you deal 7,500 damage to 59 DPM, more than your demo, almost as much as the other demo, then it certainly is a resource well put in here.
Indeed. What else do we see here?
I see 2 deaths after charges for Euthanasia to the 0 of Mullah. And while were some, bad deaths last match, specifically by the medics, Mullah seems to have cleaned up much more. No deaths after charge usually just means that your exchanges are going much, much better, and that you don't have your medic in questionable positions after you're on Uber in an exchange or something like that, or maybe even like last push, and that just happened too many times for Euthanasia and co.
Right, so, okay, what's your prediction for the Golden Cap, Dum? And who do you think needs to step it up so that their team will win?
I don't think there's much more he can step up, but I do want to see Colley just have another huge bomb on mid.
Yeah,
and then just take it from there. I don't think he can step it up much more than he already is. At least not within a few minutes of waiting for the Golden Cap to start, but
You could go and get Mike and get him to play on his PC without telling anyone. That'll probably step his game up, But other than that, no, I don't think he could. But I think definitely a player for the Frenchies that needs to step it up is Raf. He needs to be living so that he can command his team, tell them what to do. And he can't be dying so quickly in these stairways. He seems like he's just losing concentration sometimes. I really want to see him, play the low death demo man, and just micromanage his team, stay alive, see every situation before it happens, and lead them to victory. Like Napoleon.
That's not the comparison I would have made, but sure. But yeah, as you said, staying alive on demo is always so important. In my opinion, having low deaths is almost more important than dealing more damage. Obviously, you need to do still damage, but it's easier to do. Everything is easier to do if you die less on a pocket class, a combo class, a heal class.
Yeah, well, you saw it a lot of times. It was a 5v5, but Raf was dead and Kalis was alive, and Kalis would walk in and we'd take a lot of damage. He would push the players on the Frenchies just back from the point into just such bad positions that they just couldn't really hold, or they got forced really easily, and they'd be able to take the point almost for free. So Gotta prioritize your life, guys, if you're playing demo.
Maybe we see something completely out of the ordinary, like crits, or maybe flower sniping to mid. That would that would certainly be something different. But that's the kind of stuff you sometimes see in golden caps. That's the two mind stuff you see for golden caps: play as conservatively as possible, as safe as possible, or just go all out. And so far, flower is still on sniper.
Ooh. Is he still on sniper? Will he
Never mind. He decided really late against it, I think.
It's the fake out if the enemy team goes spy to check, but none of the Frenchies checked because apparently they just don't care. So Raf is fairly safe to me. He's taken full damage on his rollout. He's got good damage on the scouts there actually on left. That's nice from him. Frenchies just kind of waddling around with their soldiers. Olga's going quite aggressive on the top right now. Joe is launched in the air. Should probably die here. He's very, very weak. And Woe's going to get in. Such a huge frag onto Euthanasia. Will help damage from Raf. Now the Frenchies just need to back up and play heroes, but they've lost two players, both their soldiers down. Joey's going to go in very deep onto Karnax, who's very weak. But they can just back out. There's really smart play from the Frenchies, actually, to just back out and keep their med alive.
Yeah, they played really passive the entire time. Just Olga commits to get some damage in, and then drove while everybody was still looking at Olga, just sneaks in out of nowhere, gets the kill, and they are running away with Mula still alive. Never actually left second as well. They just stayed and showed what is happening to them, able to just see the bombs coming if anything will happen here. And so far, they can just stop them before anything happens. Just pistol people from range, say no to anyone wanting to say hi to them close range, and just spam their way into mid back end.
The Frenchies just need to move really quickly here. Killers has actually got a crazy trap up, but he doesn't actually get the death. And Uber's been popped for some reason. I have really no idea why they did that. They just popped in absolutely nothing at the choke there. They didn't even get forced. Miller wasn't weak, so that was kind of questionable. But the Frenchies definitely not maintaining their Uber advantage at all. 50% ad for Quasar. But will they push out here? Because it's kind of risky.
Yeah,
they don't want to get back up
again
again by Karnax.
That threat is probably still in their mind. And even then, if you push out in a situation like this, you need to kill the medic, otherwise you'll just get pushed back by the same Uber that you just defended from to begin with. Back from mid into second, yet again by the other team. So this Uber needs to be good, or it's just a deep frog back into second here. And for now, Buna is escaping Olga, gets caught maybe a little bit, will go down. One casualty is affordable enough though, because Buna has already
Karnax is going behind.
Uber.
It's the same situation, but the cap time is not very good, but actually the cap time is pretty... Alright, they got another scout on it, but Karnax has actually killed Khaled behind. The Frenchies could recontest here. They're walking in, they've got pretty much full Uber advantage. There's two players down for Quasar, so this could be a round for the Frenchies if they move quickly. They might just opt to wait for their respawns before they push last year. We'll see what they do.
Karnax, as we've seen, is really important for these DM fights, is DM beast, but maybe they just decide to put up a fight with the Uber on 5 people, and Draft goes deep, gets killed straight away, gets flashed on as well. Spirit on heavy, will it make a difference? Alien Smiley already goes down. Joe takes a fight with Euthanasia, but Khaled beats him on the other side of that. Suddenly this looks so much worse for the Frenchies.
Yeah, they just didn't focus on the heavy. That's been the kind of defining feature of a lot of these last pushes so far. There's just been a heavy alive at the end has just mowed people down. We do see a really sizable advantage for Euthanasia, so Quasar should be able to push out pretty happily here, as long as they don't get Sticky Trap killed. But I don't think Raf even has any up, which is kind of... I don't know why he hasn't got any Sticky Traps up. Man, come on Raf. I'm shaking my head.
Yeah, let's see. Yet again, Uber out of class, but it almost costed them around last time. They need to be more careful about it. They can't drop people in the situation again, and they need to catch more than last time to make it happen.
Will be used here quite late. Euthanasia goes pretty weak there. Joey's going to get absolutely nothing. I don't really like them taking the pocket Uber out of here because he's kind of so useless. And Karnax are going to go. Oh, Karnax goes Euthanasia, just dropping out of IT. Euthanasia just left alone off the Uber. And this is looking really horrible for Quasar. Once again, only 4 players alive, and it's a huge Uber advantage for the Frenchies.
Yeah, like I said, you need to be careful in this situation with this Uber out of last, or else the other team can take really easy advantage of it. Joey goes behind, but can't quite catch anyone with the surprise play from behind as the push comes into last yet again. Raf going deep, not getting killed for it. Karnax will. Point gets played so much by the scouts. Everybody forces the issue to the point. Damage is there, and the cleanup for the Frenchies comes out in form of Olga, and that will be the game.
Indeed, so, you know, a respectable fight put up by Quasar, but in the end, the Frenchies GM was just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, they came into this as the underdog in my eyes, into this qualifier, so them putting up these closer fights with these teams is certainly still something for sure.
Indeed, and they'll be in, well, assuming they stay together, they'll be a good contender for the next Prem playoffs.
Yeah, and if they want to play together in Div 1, which I think they said they will, and what I read in Elke's little article about them, then this will be valuable practice. Being able to keep up fights with these sort of teams already is a good practice going into the next season of Div 1. And maybe you won't have to go through the qualifiers next season.
Yeah.
If you just win outright.
And it is also odds on that, so the next match, the Frenchies, they get to face for the second time professional Disney fangirls.
Well, third time, well, fourth time even if you count last season.
Oh, okay. Well, for the second time in these playoffs themselves, they get to face professional Disney fangirls who lost in a fairly close series, which I casted yesterday against Yak's team.
Yeah, rematch of second against third of the lower bracket finals of last season's Div 1 as well, technically.
Yep.
Interesting. So that will be the final match of the qualifier. And with that, unfortunately, Quasar has to go back to Div 1 for crever. We'll get one more shot at it. And they will have to make it count. Disney fangirls are definitely here to stay. I mean, it's been a team for ages, so... Actually, both of these rosters have been around in some capacity for quite a while, so this should be interesting.
It should indeed. Last time, I think it was fairly convincing win for professional Disney fangirls, I think. But maybe, can do some demo reviews. The Frenchies, they can practice, fix a few mistakes, get something, make some magic happen, and just counter them completely. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, I mean, they came into the playoffs as a team that hasn't won a game, so the improvement is certainly noticeable, to say the least.
Would you like to look at the Golden Cap logs, or is it not worth it?
Probably wasn't. It wasn't too long of a Golden Cap, and it was the most important thing was just that the pushes out of last weren't working, and the Frenchies were able to take advantage of it. I think what is more important than knowing who actually did the damage, who got the kills. I think that's what is really worth mentioning here.
I'm told that DuMmTm in the interview
that should
channel
be Olga, yeah.
is Olga, so you can get him in here, Jam, since we're done. Salut, Olga! Olga?
I was muted. Hey, how you doing?
Wow. How are you doing? Congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling after that?
Not that well, to be honest.
Not that well?
Yeah, we didn't play really well. Like some of our players were really lost during that game, especially on the Snake Water.
Who was lost? Who was the problem?
Well, I can't say name.
Give me the drama.
No. But yeah, it was really messy, and we were expecting better from us, especially. But still a win, so that's good.
Fair enough. Dom, any questions?
I guess, I mean, you had plenty of time to play against professional Disney fangirls already over the past season and yesterday, basically. So, how do you think you will fare in yet another match against this team with this much knowledge about them?
Well, do you mean for the next match?
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, we are just trying to, for now, we're just trying to figure out what are our mistakes and just solve them. So we're not really interested to play in a certain way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
to beat Disney fangirl.
So just be the best of yourself instead of doing anything specific for the enemy.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you believe?
Well, of course I believe. I'm a competitor, but
any specific bias here to make this like the most French season of Premiership ever?
Yeah, it could be huge.
That'd be crazy.
How many would that be? That would be like 13 French players.
Well, I think that there's a lot of French players if we go to Prem.
Yeah, like season. If you were to make it, that would be 6 on your team, 6 on like Corbeck, Amarok team.
Oh, okay.
And
so if we make a mix, you mean?
No.
Like
there's already a
your
French
team
team
would make
Prem.
it. Then there's already a French team in Prem with Amarok and Corbeck and Neo and Nevo and Azunas. And I'm forgetting somebody.
And Sans. And me.
Oh yeah.
On coach. Excellent. Even though I don't speak French.
And Ombrek on Fein. So that would be 14 French players all at the same time in Premiership.
Yeah.
That would be entirely too much. So Disney fangirls, please save us. But no, seriously though, yeah, congratulations to the win. That was, you know, a close one to say the least. You know, lead all the time, but then they came back. How was that feel? Like both games started like the same way. You were leading early on, stalemates, and then they come back slowly.
Yeah, the funny part is that like we had like 2 straight rounds at the beginning, so we were quite well, we were happy and we were a bit trolling like every warm up, but yeah, then they came back to 2-2 and we were a bit more stressed. But yeah, I think to quote Cadis, we played at our worst. So
All right. Eames, anything else?
I could ask you a question, but it's a bit of a meme question. Do you mind?
Okay. Yeah, of course.
All right. So there's this weird quote that I've just spammed in Twitch chat of you talking about saying something really nonsensical about. Well, I'll read it to you. It is a smile for the people that don't know they have to pay the bus. What does it mean?
Well,
is it a typo?
That's first a metaphor, and
it's a metaphor.
Yeah, because last season I believe that Classes team didn't know that they had too many players, too many experienced players. But like there was rules written in ETF2L, so like I already knew that they were gonna get banned, so that's why.
But so, did you mean to write play?
Sorry?
No. Like I think what he's saying is that like he knew rules that your team forgot about basically. So he knew that he had to pay the bus, but they didn't. Metaphorically speaking.
But were they not the bus, as in like the bus crew?
Oh no, not at all.
No, okay, all right. Well, thank you for that.
We are one metaphor smarter today.
Indeed. That's what you always hope for.
Well, with that, let's just move to shoutouts. Olga, as the only one here, you can start any shoutouts.
Yeah, well, shoutouts to you guys for casting and Gemm for producing. Shout out to my team. And don't tilt, please, next time. Shout out to Cadis. That was a good match. And yeah, I guess see you next time.
Is it me?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, cool. I don't know. Shout out to Crumpy, who's feeling unwell. It's the reason that I'm here. And shout out to Gemm for producing and Dom for being my co-caster. Shout out to the teams.
Yeah, shout out to you, Eames, as well, for stepping in last minute. Shout out for Gemm to actually being bothered to show up this time. And shout outs to my boys, Spy Boys, especially Dempsey, who is a sad boy for being bad in Highlander today. And with that, we'll see you next time, which I don't know when that will be, but probably in the next few days with professional Disney fangirls against Olga's team here in the last match of the qualifier.
Yeah, hopefully Sunday, because I can't be there Friday and Saturday. So
that's potential spoiler. See you then.